Welcome to Earthy Remedy, your space for natural remedies, real food, and everyday wellness. I'm your host, Sam Nang Bradley, host and wellness guide.
And I'm Fiona Thompson, co-host and nutritionist. Together, we explore how the healing power of nature and evidence-based nutrition can help you feel better in simple, sustainable ways. In today's episode, we're talking about a simple, savory broth that's easy to make at home, a Golden Miso Sipping Broth, and how a little ritual can support digestion and bring a calm moment into your day. So make yourself comfortable, and let's begin this week's journey with Earthy Remedy. Cold open. Imagine holding a warm mug between your hands. The steam lifts an earthy, slightly spicy scent, toasted sesame, a whisper of turmeric, a soft savory note from miso. You sip slowly and feel a small, immediate hush in your belly and in your mind. In under 10 minutes, you can make this golden, savory broth and carry that hush into your evening. Section 1. Understanding the problem. Let's start with something simple. Many of us move fast through meals, eat later in the evening, or reach for heavy foods when we're tired. That can leave our digestion feeling sluggish and our nervous system on edge. What we want is a gentle signal, something light, warm, and nourishing that tells the body it's okay to slow down. I think of my grandmother, who always poured a small cup of broth after a busy day. It wasn't a meal, just a ritual. You sat, you breathed, you drank. That small pause changed everything about how you left the table. It's not a fix-all, but it's a kind way to support digestion and make space for rest. From a biochemical perspective, warm liquids can support digestive comfort by helping gastric motility and by offering a gentle sensory cue to the nervous system that mealtime is concluding. The broth itself, if made with fermented miso and warming spices like ginger and turmeric, can add flavor, trace nutrients, and a comforting aroma. Let's be clear, this is not medicine, but it's a nourishing kitchen ritual that many people find helpful. Section 2. What tradition and science say. The tradition of sipping broths spans many cultures: Japanese miso soups, Chinese herbal broths, and simple bone or vegetable broths around the world. Fermented foods like miso have a long culinary history and a role in flavor, preservation, and digestive traditions. The fermentation process breaks down proteins and creates amino acids and savory compounds that enhance taste and digestion. Miso itself is a quiet powerhouse made from soy, rice, or other grains and fermented with koji. In kitchens and family tables, it acts both as flavor and as a comforting ritual. Paired with turmeric and ginger, spices used for centuries for warmth and digestion, it becomes a sipping broth that feels restorative without being heavy. Here's what the science tells us. Fermented foods provide flavor complexity and may support gut-related processes by offering small amounts of live cultures when unpasteurized. Turmeric contains curcumin, which is primarily a culinary compound with interesting bioactive properties in lab studies. Ginger contains volatile oils that contribute warming flavor and can ease mild digestive discomfort for some people. Again, though, this is food and ritual, not a medical treatment. That's actually fascinating. Flavor and ritual work together. The aroma, the heat, the taste all become part of a signal to slow down. It's practical, accessible, and deeply human. Section 3. Introducing the remedy and recipe. Today's recipe is our Golden Miso Sipping Broth. It's savory, lightly spiced, and meant to be sipped slowly, a cup at a time. It works well for evenings after a busy day, as a morning warm-up if you prefer, or any time you want a small calming ritual. Cautions: Watch sodium from miso, and if you have soy or gluten sensitivities, we'll offer alternatives in the recipe.
Now, let's move into the recipe. I'll read each ingredient slowly. You can write them down or follow along. We'll have the full written recipe in the show notes. Ingredient list. 1 cup of water. That's the base. 1 cup of vegetable stock, or low-sodium broth if you prefer richer flavor. 1 teaspoon of white or yellow miso paste, low sodium if needed, which gives savory umami. 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, or 1 teaspoon of freshly grated turmeric. 1 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger, which gives warmth and a bright aroma. 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, or a few drops to finish. A squeeze of lemon or rice vinegar to brighten, optional. Optional, a pinch of black pepper to improve turmeric's flavor. Garnish options, chopped scallion or a few toasted sesame seeds. Benefits of each quickly. Miso for savory, fermented flavor and trace nutrients. Turmeric for warmth and color. Ginger for digestive comfort and aroma. Sesame oil for toasty depth. Broth or water for hydration and warmth. If you need soy-free options, try chickpea miso or tahini, plus a splash of tamari if tolerated. If you need gluten-free, choose a certified gluten-free miso.
Equipment. You'll need a small pot or saucepan, a measuring spoon, a whisk or spoon, a small grater for fresh ginger and turmeric if using, and a mug. That's it. Step-by-step instructions. I'll number the steps and pause so you can follow along. Step 1. Pour 1 cup of water and 1 cup of low-sodium vegetable broth into your small pot. Turn the heat to medium. Step 2. While the liquid warms, grate 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger, and if using fresh turmeric, 1 teaspoon of grated turmeric. Notice the bright, spicy aroma rising. That's the essential oils releasing. Step 3. Once the liquid reaches a gentle simmer, small bubbles along the edge, add the grated ginger and turmeric and simmer gently for 2 to 3 minutes. Don't let it boil hard. You want a gentle heat to preserve delicate flavors. Step 4. Turn the heat to low. Place 1 teaspoon of miso paste into a small bowl or directly into your mug. Ladle about 2 tablespoons of the warm broth into the miso and whisk until smooth. This helps dissolve the miso evenly. Step 5. Pour the miso mixture back into the pot and stir gently. Warm for another 30 to 60 seconds. Do not boil the broth after adding miso to preserve its flavor and, if unpasteurized, its live cultures. Step 6. Turn off the heat. Add a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, a squeeze of lemon, or a 1/4 teaspoon of rice vinegar if you like brightness, and a pinch of black pepper if using. Stir gently and pour into your mug. Step 7. Taste mindfully. If it's too salty, dilute with an extra splash of hot water. If you want more depth, add a few drops of tamari or another 1/2 teaspoon of miso. But remember, sodium builds quickly. This is meant to be sipping, not slurping. Common mistakes to avoid: boiling hard after adding miso, which dulls flavor, adding too much miso and ending up with a very salty cup, skipping the dissolve step and letting clumps form. If you only have powdered turmeric, use 1/2 teaspoon instead of fresh measurements. Storage and serving tips. You can make a small batch, up to 3 cups, and keep it in the fridge for 48 hours. Reheat gently on low heat and stir. Avoid bringing miso to a full boil on reheating. Best time to sip, 20 to 60 minutes after a meal to support gentle digestion, or mid-afternoon as a calming ritual. Frequency, daily or a few times a week, depending on taste and sodium needs. Variations, for a heartier version, use a light bone or mushroom broth. For soy-free, use chickpea miso, or blend a teaspoon of tahini with a touch of sea salt and a splash of liquid to mimic umami. For extra creaminess,
Stir in a tablespoon of canned coconut milk at the end. Be creative. Make it your ritual.
Sensory moment. Hold your mug. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the steam. Notice the toasted sesame, the pepper of ginger, the golden glow of turmeric. Feel the warmth in your hands. This is a small, nourishing pause.
Safety, cautions, and when to avoid. If you're watching sodium for blood pressure, choose low-sodium miso and dilute the broth. If you have a soy allergy, use soy-free miso alternatives or the tahini swap. Pregnant or immunocompromised listeners should choose pasteurized miso or heat the broth thoroughly and check with a clinician. If you take medications, especially blood thinners, consult your healthcare provider about frequent turmeric use. This is food and ritual, not a medical treatment. Reflection and encouragement. This is more than a recipe. It's a few minutes carved out to listen to your body, to offer warmth, and to practice a small, consistent ritual. Start simple. Adjust to taste. If 1 cup helps you slow down after a busy day, that's a win.
Call to action. We'd love to hear how this turned out for you. Did you make it? How did it taste? What did you add? Send us a voice message or DM us at our Instagram handle in the show notes, and subscribe to Earthy Remedy so you don't miss future recipes and stories. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Earthy Remedy. We hope you're leaving with at least one simple, natural idea you can bring into your everyday life. The full written recipe and sourcing tips are in the show notes. Until next time, listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference.